Have you ever stood on a tee box as your driver and had a lot of wind into you, and you know a high cut is just going to take it out of bounds? Or how about maybe the trees make that fairway look like it's super narrow? Well, today I'm here with Jane Olson, collegiate golfer. She's going to help us understand how she does the fairway finder drive. It can help you play better golf. So Jane, as you play in your collegiate tournaments, like anybody else, you're going to have wind conditions. You're going to have some holes that just don't have the width off the drive. You've got a visual for a couple of different driver swings. Help me understand kind of what you're visualizing to have more control with your driver.
Okay, my go-to driver shot is always the draw. I love the right to left ball flight. I get more distance that way, and I feel like I have more control over that shot. I like to visualize a high draw or a low draw, and depending on the conditions, that's how I decide which one I want to use. If I have right to left wind, that's when I know I want to hit that high draw and maximize that distance.
Okay.
If I have a left to right wind, I want to use that low draw and be able to control that ball better.
So really simply, what are you trying to do different? Let's show let's look at a face-on perspective here.
Okay.
From a face-on perspective, what are you trying to do a little different as you come through impact for the high versus low?
So my high draw is more of just a full swing. I really make the same swing that I do with all my clubs.
Okay.
I release a little higher and I fold all the way through.
Okay.
I really think that's the biggest difference between these two swings is just how long my swing is.
Okay.
My lower trajectory driver, I grip down a little bit lower on my club.
So you've shortened the length of the shaft.
Yep, shorten the length of the shaft. I make the same backswing, maybe a little bit shorter, but not much. And then when I come through, I try and stop it right here. And that's just my thought. I'm like, okay, just get it here, low and left. But usually I just
the hands
here.
are going to come.
Right.
So you're visualizing, okay, if I can characterize this, your hands, you're feeling like I'm bringing my hands under my shoulders versus I'm letting my arm rotation bring them above my shoulders, right?
Yeah.
So one gives you more speed, more trajectory, but it's also got maybe a little more variability, and it's impacted a little more in the wind from your experience.
Yeah.
So right-handed player, you're trying to hit a draw, wind right to left, send it high and let it ride it.
Right.
You got the left to right wind.
Right. I'm going to try and hit a low draw
a low draw.
Or draw into
so
the wind.
feeling like the hand, now they don't really, but you're saying feeling like the hands stop very, or never come high as opposed to up here. So what I see, there's a difference in like the rate of how you rotate your arms in. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think by gripping it down, I swing a little slower. I mean, it's only a few miles per hour, but that gives me more control with that speed and with the length of shaft.
Okay. Here we are comparing the two driver swings side by side. So this swing on the left is the full release, full speed, and the swing on the right is the more lower,
chippy finish.
More of a chippy finish.
Yeah,
so,
3/4 swing maybe.
So you're feeling your hands as a much lower release on this one here. All right. So 88 club speed, 223 carry. We can see your hands finish up above, the top of your head right here is where you've brought them to. And you say this one feels more like a chipping finish?
Yeah, more of a lower finish.
So you can see your arms aren't releasing as hard, are they?
Yeah, more of a hold off.
And so we see the shaft, actually if we go to the finish position here, very different position in terms of where the shaft finish is on those two swings. So your feeling on the full swing versus the more limited swing is a much more passive arm motion, I guess, on the limited versus the full?
Yeah, I think so. I think on my full swing, I'm more just trying to get the club around me, maybe more of a harder swing, faster swing.
Right.
On this hold off swing, I think it's more of a controlled swing, something I would use if I have a narrow fairway or if I'm just trying to get the ball running out down the fairway. That's where I would use that swing.
Okay, so the height on what you would call your more limited release or your lower release, the height wasn't quite as high. We still get a lot of rollout, right? That got 30 yards of rollout.
Right.
So if you got a situation where you need quote unquote the fairway finder and you feel like there's, I guess, less action in the arms through the impact, then that's this a little slower speed, right?
Yeah, that's a great swing for the first tee if you're feeling a little nervous or or you're in a situation where you need to hit a fairway. That's the shot I would use.
What about in wind? So if you're right-handed player, so what if you've got wind into you, or the left to right wind where a fade is like catastrophic, right?
Right. Yeah.
So would that type of release give you more confidence into a wind?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I have a left to right wind, I'm always trying to hit that low draw. That just pierces through the wind, and I really don't lose any distance with that shot.
Okay, so keeping it lower into the wind, a lower launch. Right. So you're not really trying to hit it as hard as you can. You're doing a more controlled trajectory then. So you got a wide open fairway. You could use the extra 20 yards, the full release.
Yep.
Higher hands. Tighter fairway into the wind.
Yeah.
Maybe the lower release, give up a little club head speed, but you feel more controlled in terms of where that ball is going. Correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Very nice comparison of those two. Let's look at these really quick from down the line at full speed, and you're able to, again, to see the difference of the finish position. Okay. Where the shaft doesn't finish, near as wrapped around the head from here as it does with the full arm release. So you're on the tee. What do you do in your pre-shot routine to help you be prepared to hit the one release versus the other?
Right, so I'll go behind the ball and make my decision of what kind of shot I want to hit. And then I'll just go behind my ball and do some practice swings like this. Like that's my full release, full swing driver. And notice I'm not swinging at the speed that I would hit the ball at, but I'm just swinging to get the feel of what my hands are doing and the length of swing. And for my little controlled swing, I grip it down and just do the same thing and finish where I want to feel myself finish. And then I just use that and go into my swing.
In your practice regimen, I assume then you're doing both shots?
Yeah. Like if I go out and play a practice round or something, I'll bring 2 balls up there and practice hitting a high draw and then a low draw and get the feel of both of them and how the ball reacts.
And it's not that one can get a little farther, but it's based on the course conditions that you're going to choose, which one to do. So when you're on the range, like indoor at a facility like this, then you've got two driver releases that you're working on, right?
Right, yeah. And being able to use these numbers to see my club speed and the height is really what I'm looking at with these 2 swings.
So what can really help you play better golf is understanding that 100% full release, full power may not necessarily always be the proper driver shot. We've got some great online coaching that can help. We can look at your swings that you send us, help you understand the difference between limited release, full release, weight shift, etc. 14-day free trial. Just click the link in the description below or on the iCard above. Get started playing better golf today.